Hello everyone. It is a beautiful summer day here in the mountains in Tennessee, and I wanted to share with you the beautiful bloom on Dendrobium Luigi. I also wanted to share my fertilizing recipes and tips for my Dendrobiums and my Cattleyas, and also the supplements that I use with them. It's mid-July, and most of my Dendrobiums and my Cattleyas are growing canes very rapidly, roots and canes. So what I like to do, this is for my moss orchids, the ones growing in bark and in water culture. I fertilize them with the very same thing. So what I'm doing, you see I have a new cane here. I have a new cane right here, a good strong cane. And also look at the new root tips at the base of this one. Now this one does not have a terminal leaf on it yet. These might be all the leaves that it has, but this one it's still not finished growing. And I'm going to show you what one that has stopped growing looks like in just a minute. Okay, and then here is Dendrobium Burana Jade Fantasy number 9, and as you see on the back, there's a new cane growing there as well. Let me show you my Cattleyas. Okay, this is one of 2 growths on my Cattleyas. This is the new cane that it's working on right here, and then I've got one on the other side of the plant, but look at how huge that new growth is. And this is growing very, very quickly. So let me show you the recipe that I use on these plants that are in active growth. For this group of Dendrobiums and my Cattleyas that are in active growth with canes and roots growing, I'm using 1/3 teaspoon of the Better Grow Orchid Plus, a pinch of Epsom salts, about 20 drops of CalMag, and about 12 drops of seaweed extract. Now today it's going to be 90 degrees here. So I'm thinking that for my Cattleyas that I just showed you that is growing so rapidly, I might bump that up today to 1/2 teaspoon of Better Grow. It is growing so quickly. So that's what I'm doing right now. I mix that up in a gallon jug and I use that for 3 times, and then I flush the pot with clear water so I don't have any salt buildup in the pots. Now this Dendrobium has a cane that's been growing for a few months now, and I noticed yesterday it does have a terminal leaf on it. This is all that this cane is going to grow. Beautiful, healthy growth. But this is as long as this cane is going to grow. So let me show you what I do when the canes have fully matured. I'm going to back up just a little bit. Let me show you that from this view. This is the terminal leaf. I know because this one is shorter than this one. There's no new leaves that are about to grow. Okay, so that's what I'm referring to as a terminal leaf on this cane. I'm going to use the same recipe, the 1/3 teaspoon of Better Grow and all the supplements, and then I'm going to alternate that with the CalMag and Epsom salts. So the first time that I fertilize this one, I'm going to use this. Then the next time I water, I'm going to use this. And I'm going to alternate these back and forth because this one's no longer actively growing, but it still does need this amount of fertilizer. Now the reason at this point to fertilize this one this way and alternate them is because this one will be gearing up to bloom soon. I love it when they bloom. Also for maintenance of the plant. But like I said, it is gearing up to bloom. I'm hoping that this is the year that this beautiful Dendrobium is going to bloom, and it looks like it's going to happen. Now let me tell you what I'm doing with Dendluigi, who is blooming right now. And of course, his nutrient needs are going to be different than if he was actively growing. So let me show you what I've been doing with this Dendrobium. Okay, right now in his water culture home, this is what he's been sitting in for about 3 days. And I'm going to drain this today. What I've been doing with my water culture dendrobiums is I allow them to set in these mixtures for about 3 days. And then what I'll do is drain that, let them set dry for a day or two. I keep an eye on the roots. When they start looking dry, I go ahead and I replenish them with whatever fertilizer mixture I need to. And I've had very, very good results with that. Someone asked me, do I flush out the pots while they're in water culture? I actually do. About twice a month, I will just run clear water through the pot, just kind of swish it through the pot. I don't clean the containers. I just run water through the pot until it looks relatively clean. And I keep salt buildup from happening that way. So that has worked for me as well. Luigi's been in bloom now for about a month. So probably this week I'm going to start alternating these two things. They do need a small amount of nitrogen when they're in bloom. Remember, you're caring for the plant as well, and if you let them go without nitrogen for too long, I've not gotten a good result with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him set in this for 3 days, then I'll drain that. Then he'll set in this for about 3 days, and then I'm going to drain this. So I'm going to alternate these. This is just at a smaller rate. So I did this with my Burana Jade Fantasy that I showed you earlier in the video while that one was in bloom, and it came through that bloom cycle very healthy. It looked very, very good. So that's what I'm going to do with this one as well. And I also want to do a close-up on the seaweed extract that I've been using. I like this one. It does not smell. Once you dissolve it in water, it has no odor at all. And also I'm using the CalMag by General Hydroponics. Again, thank you, Rick L., for showing everyone how to use these. Our orchids are definitely benefiting, and we appreciate you. And also I'm going to show you the garden lime that I'm using. And I'm using between 1/3 of a teaspoon to 1/2 of a teaspoon, depending on the pot size. I'm using the garden lime as an extra source of calcium and magnesium. Again, thank you, Rick, for showing everyone this. I'm using this with really good success on my bark orchids, all of them, the Dendrobiums and my Cattleyas included, the ones in bark and in moss. So this is a very, very good product. If you haven't used it yet, you're going to want to get some garden lime. You can find this at Lowe's. You can find it at Walmart. It is pretty much anywhere that you look in a garden center. And while Phile Legato is in bloom, I have to share these beautiful blooms with you. And also, huge thanks to my friend Caroline. Caroline, thank you so much for the beautiful screenshots, and thank you for the photo gallery. It is absolutely beautiful. I appreciate you, my friend. And thanks to all of those of you who made such nice comments about my husband's artwork. He truly is a splendid artist, and I wanted to share this one with you. This is one of my favorite paintings of all. And you all just have a wonderful day. Thank you for the blessing you are to me, and have a highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed day. And we'll talk to you all next time.